Throughout the history of the NBA, there have only been a few players that can say that they've changed the way basketball is played. The most recent example of this is Steph Curry. His shooting has revolutionized the game of basketball so much in the last few years that teams have nearly doubled their three-point attempts per game since his first MVP season back in 2015. Then there's the guy that a lot of people would say is the only point guard ahead of him all time. And that, of course, is Magic Johnson. Magic is a special case because he changed the way the teams played and the standard for what a point guard is. And so, how did he do that? Well, today, we're going to be talking about his career, his play style, and why he was so special, and how he changed the way basketball is played. But before we begin, if you're new here, I'm Double D. I'm a huge basketball fan and I make NBA videos here on YouTube. So if you're also an NBA fan, or just basketball fan in general, feel free to hit the sub button and click the bell to be notified when I upload more videos just like this one. Alright, let's get into the video. So Magic Johnson is widely regarded to be the greatest point guard of all time. He came into the league at just the age of 20 years old after being drafted first overall by the Lakers and immediately started drawing attention with his unbelievable plays. And part of what made him so unbelievable was the fact that he was a 6'9" point guard. Before him, the point guard was a pretty small position. Like a 6'2", 6'3" point guard was considered a big point guard. And that's really the tallest height you would ever see at that position. Magic was 6 inches taller than that. And this is just one of the reasons that he would end up getting the name Magic. Back when he was 15 years old in his sophomore year of high school, he would end up recording a stat line of 36 points, 18 rebounds, and 16 assists. Seeing this, a sports writer by the name of Fred Stabley Jr. would give him the nickname Magic in the Lansing State Journal, which is a newspaper in Lansing, Michigan. And so, Magic Johnson was born. But back to the present. In Magic's well, not the present, but yeah, you know what I mean. In Magic's rookie season, he would end up averaging 18 points, 7.7 rebounds, 7.3 assists, and 2.3 steals and shot 53% from the field. He earned an All-Star selection and would come second in Rookie of the Year voting behind, who else? Larry Bird. But the playoffs is where we would see Magic truly break out as a star, which is unbelievable when describing a player's rookie season, but you'll see. In the playoffs overall, Magic averaged 18.3 points, 10.5 rebounds, 9.4 assists, and 3.1 steals and shot 52% from the field. In the finals, the Lakers would go up against the 76ers led by Dr. J, but things would take a turn as league MVP Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would end up spraining his ankle in Game 5 and would be unable to play in Game 6, with the Lakers up 3-2 in the series. So the Lakers would end up starting Magic at center, and being 6'9", he could still provide height while being one of the fastest players on the floor. And this ended up being one of the factors leading to the popularization of small ball and a run-and-gun style of play. As in this game, Magic would record 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals. And he would end up winning Finals MVP, wait a minute, he won Finals MVP in his rookie season with MVP Kareem on his team. Overall in the finals, he would average 21.5 points, 11.2 rebounds, 8.7 assists, and 2.7 steals. So you can start to see where his career started to take off. It happened right away. But the next season we would see Magic struggle with injuries as he would only play in 37 games in the regular season and would lose 2-1 to the 40-win Houston Rockets in the first round. The first round was best of 3 back then. And so that would end a season where the Lakers were pretty divided due to his injury problems. But his next few seasons is where we would see the legendary era of the Showtime Lakers start to take place, as the Lakers would again beat the Sixers in the 1982 finals, with Magic winning his second Finals MVP, averaging 16.2 points, 10.8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2.5 steals while shooting 53% and playing 42 minutes. The next season, the Lakers would get beaten by the Sixers in the 1983 finals, but Magic would once again put up unreal numbers. 19 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 12.5 assists. The 1983-84 season is when that would see Magic once again putting on shows every time he stepped on the court. In the regular season, he averaged 17.6 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 13.1 assists. And with that, he led the league in assists for the second straight season. But the 1984 finals is where we would see probably the most infamous moments in his entire career. The Lakers would lose to the Celtics 4-3, but most people would end up blaming him in the mistakes he made for the losses in that series. And just see for yourself.
To Byron Scott. You watch the clock at the lower part of your screen. You're looking for Kareem. Magic Johnson keeps looking inside. 2 seconds, 1 second, and they don't get it off. The Lakers don't get a shot off. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Magic may not know it. 3 seconds, 1 second, puts it up. To be sure they won't let the time run out this time as they did in game 2. 8 seconds. Harris steals the ball and the Celtics call a timeout with 3 seconds to play. And Magic Johnson didn't have anywhere to go with it. 35 seconds remain. We're in overtime. Tied at 123. 14 points in the second period. Johnson misses them both. Bird the rebound, and the Celtics gets the rebound. And now the Lakers can cut it to 3 with a minute and a half now remaining. Magic Johnson goes up without the ball, and here's Dennis Johnson. Now Johnson with the ball. The Lakers trying to cut it to 1. And he loses it. Final second. Cooper going for 3. It's over.
And with this, he was given the nickname Tragic Johnson. And Tragic would later describe that series as one championship we should have had but didn't get. But the next season we would see both Tragic and the Lakers bounce back by beating I can't keep calling him Tragic. The next season we would see both Magic and the Lakers bounce back by beating the Celtics in 6 games. And while Kareem won Finals MVP, Magic put up 18.3 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 14 assists. And this would be a trend as the Lakers would win 2 more rings in the next 4 years, including one in 1987 where Magic would have one of his most iconic moments ever.
Byron Scott is in the ball game now. 5 seconds to go. Magic with a hook shot, scores with 2. And the Celtics trail by 1 with 2 seconds to go.
In the 1987 finals, Magic averaged 26.2 points, 8 rebounds, 13 assists, and 2.3 steals, and won his 3rd Finals MVP. And he would continue putting up crazy numbers as, in his next 2 seasons, he would put up 21.1 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 12.4 assists, and ended up winning his 2nd MVP in 1989. And in 1990, he would repeat as MVP, averaging 22.5 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 11.3 assists, but would come up short as the Lakers would fall to the Phoenix Suns in the 1990 conference semifinals, and in the 1991 finals to the Michael Jordan Bulls. But after that, we would see probably one of the most shocking moments in the history of the NBA, because on November 7th, 1991, Magic Johnson called a press conference to make this announcement.
First of all, let me say good late afternoon. Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today. I just want to make clear, first of all, that I do not have the AIDS disease, because I know a lot of you want to know that, but the HIV virus. My wife is fine. She's negative, so no problem with her. I plan on going on, living for a long time.
And this would effectively end the career of Magic Johnson as we knew him. He would play in 1996, but only for 32 games, and he was 36 years old, so he clearly wasn't the same player. But overall in his career, Magic would end up with 17,707 points, 6,559 rebounds, and 10,141 assists. He ended up a 2-time steals leader, 4-time assists leader, 10-time All-NBA, with 9 first-team selections, 12-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 3-time League MVP, 5-time champion, and 3-time Finals MVP. He is without a doubt one of the greatest players of all time, and most people would make an argument for him being the greatest point guard ever. So he was pretty good on paper, but his impact on the game of basketball needs some more context to understand just why all these numbers are so crazy. And so now we're going to be going into detail about how he actually changed the game. While Magic Johnson is one of the greatest players of all time, we also need to recognize that he's had a huge impact on the NBA and the game of basketball in general. I mentioned earlier that he was the tallest point guard in NBA history. By a lot. The average height for a point guard before him was between 6 foot and 6'2", and this only added to the magic of his playstyle, because nowadays we're starting to see more and more taller players starting to run the point. Guys like Ben Simmons, James Harden occasionally, LeBron James this season, and more that I'm not even gonna name. But Magic is not only thought to be the greatest point guard, but also probably the most amazing passer that we've ever seen. Like, this guy's passes were so insane that you would literally be asking yourself how he even saw him or how the ball even ended up there. Like, that's how great they were. But Magic's impact isn't just limited to his unbelievable plays, because during his time in the league, he was actually one of the reasons the term triple-double started to be used more commonly. And while guys like Oscar Robertson had recorded them in the past, they didn't really have an official name for them until Magic started playing. Fun fact. But perhaps one of the biggest ones is the fact that his playstyle was so amazing that it brought attention back to the NBA. Because in the early 70s, after both Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell retired, the NBA was, struggling, to put it lightly. Struggling as in not even being able to land TV contracts and playing in front of arenas that were half empty. So, basically the Pistons today, but imagine that across the entire league. Yeah. But then, the rivalry between Magic and Larry Bird happened, and this, combined with David Stern being named the new commissioner, would help the NBA gain popularity in a short amount of time, and help with the process of making the NBA global. Just the simple fact that both of them were similar, in that they were both above average height with no athleticism, and that allowed them to affect the game in more exciting ways, with their court vision, their ability to score and run fast breaks. And it was also improved by the fact that it was a Lakers versus Celtics rivalry, which are always fun and draw a lot of attention. There were also some weirdos trying to turn it into a race thing, but we're not going to do that here because it's stupid. But overall, this rivalry ended up giving the NBA the traction it needed to become a more enjoyable and popular sport in the world. And we can talk about all the no-look passes, the fast break plays, the lobs from half court, but there's no doubt that he's one of the greatest players of all time who helped change the course of the NBA, and he should always be credited as such, no matter what. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new, hit the bell to be notified when I upload, comment down below what you want to see next, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.